The IRCC has just released the 980 eligible programs for PGWP, and therefore, if you are thinking of studying in Canada and be able to work, meaning be granted a PGWP, you must certainly choose your program that is listed within this 980 eligible PGWP programs.
The CIC restriction requirements can be a little bit confusing. So in this video, let us talk about each of the restrictions one by one at a time. Hello everyone, this is Rafael.
And this is Rice, and this is Quest Canada. But before we dive deep into these PGWP eligible programs, first let's have a good understanding on the other restrictions in order for a student to be able to apply for PGWP. If you submitted your study permit before 1st of November 2024, then you are outright not covered by the field of study restriction. But there is still the restriction of language proficiency, wherein if you're a master's, bachelor's, and PhD student, then you will have to provide IELTS or language proficiency, and the requirement is CLB7. And if you graduate from a college or a diploma program, then your requirement is CLB5.
But if you submitted your permit after November 1, then you are unfortunately covered under the field of study restrictions and the language proficiency restrictions.
Another restriction is that, or another leniency, I would say, is that if you are taking master's, bachelor's, and PhD, then it doesn't really matter what your program is. You are overall not covered by the field of study restriction. One thing though that I would like to keep note to students is that if you are taking master's degree and you would like to take your spouse with you, then you will have to take a program that is at least 1.5 years in length in order for your spouse to be provided or granted an open work permit. Otherwise, if your program is less than 1.5 years, then unfortunately you will not be provided, or your spouse will not be provided, an open work permit.
And lastly, after you have graduated from your program, you have 180 days to submit your PGWP application, and that is 6 months, so that is enough for any student.
Guys, these are some of the major changes that are applicable to the general set of students or international students. There are restrictions on people or students who want to study in Quebec. Quebec is a totally different province, it seems. It has an immigration rule of its own, and therefore it's a totally complicated situation when it comes to Quebec. To everyone who wants to study in Quebec, I certainly urge you guys to visit the CIC website, because Quebec has got its own set of restrictions and regulations, and there are also restrictions and regulations on flight schools. So those are a different set of restrictions. Again, if you visit the CIC website, you are absolutely able to find all the restrictions and eligibility when it comes to those kinds of programs.
And now let us talk about the PGWP eligible programs in Canada. And do note that all of these 980 programs are tied to in-demand jobs in the country.
By the way, guys, if you are an international applicant or a current student or a person who is currently on PGWP, guys, I urge you to visit questjobs.online, because on this portal, this is actually what we call a job intelligence portal. We do not just aggregate jobs here, we categorize jobs in terms of the most possible PR pathways in each job listing. If you will look at the questjobs.online, you will find that there are various categories such as the Atlantic Immigration Program. There are various PR pathways under the Saskatchewan nominee programs. There are various PR pathways under the Nova Scotia PR programs at Wells. And if you will see the job listings at questjobs.online, you will find that we have categorized, and each job has been tagged into whether an international applicant is eligible to apply to such job, job, or is it only for international student, or is it eligible for people who are holding work permit? Is it eligible for persons who have just studied in certain provinces such as Manitoba or Nova Scotia? So this Job Intelligence Portal have essentially cohesively provided all the important information for you to truly assess if you are eligible under each and every single job posting.
Going back to our topic, the 980 PGWP eligible programs have been divided into 5 broad categories, and they are the agriculture and agri-food, healthcare, STEM or science, technology, engineering and mathematics, trade, and transport.
What you will notice though is that there is no mention of building and construction industry, and guys, do not fret because it is absolutely there. So various jobs in the construction are actually under the trade industry. If you will search carpenter, for example, you will see them in the trade. There are bricklayers, there are drywall insulators, etc. So all of this are in the trade industry. Some jobs, for example, in engineering, are included in the STEM or the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So everyone who are thinking of taking a construction program, please guys, search the program in this list first before deciding on any program, and definitely healthcare is part of this PGWP eligible program. So as a matter of fact, if you will look at the various healthcare programs in this list, majority of the programs in this list are in the healthcare. The healthcare is an absolute winner in this list, and therefore you can never ever go wrong if you take a healthcare program in Canada.
The CCA and ECA programs are actually under the healthcare category. So to all men out there who are not really into teaching or into care aid, you can go look and check out the trade and transport industries.
There are many international students or aspiring international students who have given up on their dream of studying in Canada and potentially become a permanent resident here because of the various restrictions being implemented by the IRCC. And guys, yes, I agree, there have been enormous amounts of restrictions since the beginning of the year. Since January until this very moment, there had been loads of restrictions that had been implemented so far, and changes inevitable. I mean, you have to go with the flow. If you really are determined to move to Canada, study here, become a work permit holder, become a PR, and become a citizen, no amount of hurdle should stop you from getting that job done, from getting that goal done and achieving that goal. So do not stop, do not fret, do not be scared. Just make it happen. Just do it. Nothing should ever stop you. And I would like to remind everyone, all of these restrictions so far had been implemented, and they are all aligned with PGWP or the post-graduation work permit. Now, if you want to avoid all of these restrictions altogether, there's also an option for you to study in a private institution without PGWP. There is a school, and I have mentioned this many times in the past. I have also covered this school in one of my videos in the past. I interviewed the associate director of Oxford College, wherein it's a college, a private college. They are not eligible for PGWP, but the thing is, before their student graduates, they ensure and they assure to the students that they will find them a job. If not, they will return the money or the tuition that they had paid to the school. And no other school could ever do this. I have not come across any other school that gives this kind of promise. If you will go to the website of Oxford, you will find the same statement as well. And therefore, guys, if you are absolutely scared of the PGWP restrictions, there might be more of them coming in before the end of the year. We just do not know. Who knows what the IRCC will say. So if you want to avoid these restrictions altogether, there is an option for you. Try the Oxford College programs, a private college, get in contact with us. That's admin@questcanadaca.com, and we can help you get that admission from Oxford.